Welcome to day 31, and in this particular video we are going to talk about the AWS Lambda. So in this video we are going to focus on this Lambda one, and we will talk about this service in detail. We will cover the theory part, and also we will see how to create your first Lambda function from the AWS console itself. Correct. So this is what we are going to cover. So before this, we have talked about the AWS EC2 instance, AWS BPC, AWS IAM role policy, AWS S3 buckets, and AWS RDS services. And we have talked in details like the load balancer, pathways routing, launch template, auto scaling group, BPC peering, transit gateway, NAT gateway, internet gateway, your transit gateway setup for multiple to establish the communication between multiple BPC. We have talked about the AWS S3 buckets, how to host your static website, how to enable this S3 CORS concept. All these things we have talked in the details. And with continuation to our DevOps journey, in this particular video, we are focusing we are targeting AWS Lambda to cover up. Correct. So we have talked about the EC2 instances before, correct? So that was the compute server where we were focusing on how much memory, how much CPU we have to allocate according to our use case, correct? If we had to host our application, so according to our use case, we had to decide where we had to use T3.medium, Ta4.large, and so on, correct? M5.x large. So these kind of instance selections we had to do. Here, AWS Lambda is called a serverless compute service. As you can see, the first point itself, it's called as serverless compute service. What does that mean? That means you don't have to worry about the how much CPU, how much memory is going to be utilized over here. What does it enables? It enables you to run code in response to events without provisioning or managing servers. That means here you don't have to worry about the provisioning of the servers, the actual servers, the servers, just like the EC2, correct, where you had to provision the EC2 and you had to focus on the infra side, how much memory, how much CPU you have to allocate. Here you don't have to worry. You will just write the code, you will run that code, correct. It might be triggered from some other AWS services, or it might be triggered from the AWS event bridge, your cron expression or API gateway, or from some other AWS services, correct. But you don't have to worry about anything about the servers detail. What's the second point? With the Lambda, you upload your code and define the condition for execution, and AWS takes care of the underlying infrastructure. So you just have to write down your code, you have to define your logics, conditions, and it will execute the things. You don't have to ultimately worry about the infrastructure, correct. All the underlying infrastructure will be taken care by the AWS Lambda itself. Auto scaling and managing resources as needed, correct. So either it will scale up the number of servers, either it will scale down the number of servers based on the requirement and for how much long it has to run, correct. So this is also covered by the AWS Lambda itself. Then you can run a trigger of 100 triggers. Lambda will scale automatically, correct. So that's your third point. Supported language, you can write down your code either in the node.js or the Python, the Go, Java, and many more technologies, correct. So this is the properties of the Lambda function. And if we talk about the key concepts of the AWS Lambda, the first point is it's an event driven architecture. What does that mean? It can be triggered by some custom events or by the AWS services. So what AWS services can be there? For example, let's consider the S3. So you can run your code in response to file upload or deletion. So just suppose that you have a one S3 bucket and you upload some of the objects, some of the files into your S3 bucket. A Lambda function can be triggered with response to this upload or deletion of the file into S3 bucket. The Lambda function will execute, either it can parse that file, it can do some logic operations on that, and it can perform certain actions according to your logic, correct. So that kind of trigger point can be set from the S3 to the Lambda. Then there is a DynamoDB table, it can process changes in table. Then API gateway is there. Whenever there will be get or post kind of call, the API gateway will call the Lambda function, and Lambda function will execute its logic, and it will perform some actions to either upload the data or to fetch the data. That kind of actions it can be done, correct. Then SNS and SQS, then there is a event bridge as well, which can be integrated with your Lambda function to do the event driven architecture, correct. Then what are the benefits of the Lambda function? So after this we will go to the AWS console as well. We will create our first Lambda function. Before that we are going through the theory, correct. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, so you can hit the bell icon as well. You can subscribe the channel as well, so that it will be easy for me as well to create some more such contents that will inspire me, that will motivate me as well. So what are the benefits of the Lambda function? The first is it's a serverless model. So you don't have to manage the servers, correct? AWS handles the infrastructure. So whatever the infrastructure is required to deploy your application, to run your application, all the server will be managed by AWS Lambda itself. So that's why it is called as serverless. You don't have to worry from end user perspective, correct? Second point stands for automatic scaling. Lambda scales automatically with the number of incoming requests. So the number of requests increases from 100 to 1000, to 10,000. The scaling of the infrastructure will happen automatically, correct. Third, cost effective. So as you know that AWS cloud itself is on the model pay as you go, while Lambda function comes with more benefit as well. You have to pay for only that time slot, or only that time period for which your code has compiled or code has executed, correct. So as you can see the terms here, you pay only for the compute time you consume. So if your code is running for 1 minute or 10 seconds, you have to pay for 10 seconds only. While if you talk about the EC2 instances, you launch your EC2 instance, your cost starts, correct. Whether you deploy now or you deploy after 5 minutes, you have to pay the cost associated with the EC2 because it's in the running state, correct. While the Lambda function does not work in this way. The time period Lambda function will be executed whether 10 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 milliseconds. You will be paying only for those particular time duration only, correct. So no charges when your code is not running, correct. Then for this, integrated with the AWS services. It can be easily integrated with AWS services to make event driven process within your AWS ecosystem. So in the similar way, what we talked about, the S3, DynamoDB, Event Bridge, API Gateway, SNS, SQS, all these things can be integrated here, and that can that's the actually the benefits of the Lambda function. You can create your event driven architecture to do some operations, correct. Then what are the basics of the Lambda functions? So you will see the handler function that we will create, the runtime environment we will do, and the execution roles, like what kind of roles and permission you want to grant to your Lambda functions, that we will cover up. So before talking much about in this, let's go to the AWS console, and we will see how to create your first Lambda function. So here we are on the AWS console side, and let me search for the Lambda function here. You will see this Lambda, and let's click on this, and within few seconds it should get populated, and here we will try to create our first Lambda function, correct. So as of now you can see there is no Lambda function, so let's click on the create a function, and I'm not going to integrate with anything. I'm just going to simply create one Lambda function, and the integration of the Lambda function, this one we will talk later on. So we'll be covering these three use cases: create event notification from S3 to Lambda. What we will cover in this, we will cover that whenever you upload a file into S3 bucket, Lambda function will be executed, and it will print the content of the object or the file, correct. So that we will set up. Then we will set up these two popular use cases where in terms of the operations, so auto start RDS and auto stop RDS. So what it will cover, it will cover that whenever you want to stop your database. So most likely you might like to stop your database on the weekends, correct. On the Saturday, Sunday, your dev test kind of, or the non-production databases you can stop to save the cost, correct. While from Monday to Friday you will keep all the database up and running. You can even shut down your databases in the evening after the 10 p.m. up to the 8 a.m. morning, correct. So these things can be set up, correct, to save the cost if your team is not working in that particular time duration. So these are the two popular use cases in terms of the DevOps, in terms of the operations perspective. So these two things also we will cover up. In this particular video, we will be talking about simply create a one lambda function only. So here I'm creating as a demo function that I will call demo function. The technology or the runtime programming language I will be selecting as Python 3.9. Then you can either go with the x64 ARM64 or according to your uh, requirement. Then the role we were talking about, correct, change default execution role. So either you can create a new role with basic lambda permission, you can use existing role if you have created earlier any role that you can use, or you can create a new role from AWS policy templates, so that you will have to pass here the policy and all the things, correct. So either I can select the existing one what I might have created before. So RDS stop role, I think this one I have created before, so this one I can use, or I can create a new one, correct. So it will automatically create. So let's go with the create a new role with basic lambda permissions, create functions, and you will see that lambda function will be created within seconds, and you will see all the default properties, all the default configurations of the lambda function will be there. So let's wait for a few seconds, and yes, successfully created the function demo function. Here your demo function is created. Here if you see the options, there is an option to add triggers. So triggers we talked about here, correct. So we talked about these triggers, either the S3, DynamoDB, API Gateway, SNS, SQS, all these things can be associated here as a part of your trigger. So if you click on the trigger, you will see the available options. Either you can attach this Alexa, API Gateway, code commit, you can select your CloudWatch logs, you can select your event bridge, you can select your S3, SNS, SQS, and all these are the different services, different your the partner event sources. With the help of that, you can uh, create your trigger which will execute your lambda function, correct. Then you have this configuration section, correct. So as you see in the configuration section, if you add the trigger, that trigger will be here. Then in the permissions, the role we were talking about, so here you will see the role which is created and what are all the permissions associated with this. So even you can see from the console here as well, the allow logs, create log group, but here also you can see the same role. So this is the role which has been created automatically by the lambda function, and this is the policy which is attached. So what are the actions? It's logs, create log group, create log streams, put log events, and this is for the demo function, AWS Lambda demo function. Which resource? This is the lambda function ARN, correct. So this is the role has been created, and who can assume this role? So lambda amazon aws.com. So apart from that, there is a destination. This is not of any use, and you can integrate your VPC if you want to make it in the private subnet or that kind of network if you want to bound. So for that, you can integrate your VPC here. You can click on the edit. You can select your default VPC. You can select your subnets according to the availability zones, the different subnets you can select. Then environment variables, like if your code has some of the variables, you want to pass some variables value from the lambda function in your code, correct. For that, you can click on the edit. You can add the environment variables over here. You can click on the add environment variable. You can add key value pair, and that key value pair can be utilized in your code. Here is the code. You can write down your code over here, and you can deploy the code. Once you deploy the code, you can click on the test, and your test will be what we say, your test will be created, and according to your test, you can see the response, and that response will help you to understand whether your code is working fine or not, correct. Then you see the other details, the code properties, 299, the packet size of the code 299 byte, and this is the function call uh, calling way, correct. So we are using Python 3.9, and handler is lambda function dot lambda handler. So we will have to define lambda handler over here in the code, as you can see directly from here as well. So the one lambda handler is defined, and in the lambda handler we will call our other functions whatever we will define. Correct. So lambda function will call lambda handler, and lambda handler will call ultimately all the different functions what you will be defining over here. So this is how you can create your lambda functions. You can monitor as well. You can click on the monitor section. You can see the CloudWatch logs if there is any logs which is being populated. That you can see. You can see how many times your lambda function has been invoked and other details here in the CloudWatch matrix. So for how many number of times your lambda function has been invoked, how many for how much duration it has been invoked, what are the error counts, success rate, total concurrent execution, throttles, and other metrics which are available here over here. So all these things you can monitor from here, and you can work with your lambda function. The CloudWatch logs we were talking about. So whatever the code execution will happen, and according to your logging what you have written, you will see some of the log streams will be generated over here. Right now we don't have anything, so it is not reflecting anything, but as soon as you will write some code, you will write some logic, you will do the execution, log streams will be populated over here, and you will be able to see those log streams. So this is the way how you can create your lambda function. You can work with your lambda function. You can do the trigger mechanism over here, and your lambda function will work. So in next video we will be talking about the any particular use case. We will start with the create event notification from S3 to lambda, and then in another video we will cover up these two. Correct. So till the time, thank you so much for watching this video, and stay tuned to the channel and subscribe to the channel for more such contents. Thank you. Welcome to day 32, and in this particular video we are going to talk about how to set up the architecture where we will create one S3 bucket, we will create one lambda function, and we will see the use case of event notification. So if you remember, in the last video we had talked about the AWS Lambda functions. In the AWS Lambda function, what we discussed, that we will be seeing the use case of all these three categories, correct? So the first one was create event notification from S3 to lambda. What does that mean? That simply means we will upload one file in this S3 bucket, and whenever we will upload a file in this S3 bucket, that will trigger one lambda function, and that lambda function will have some code logic that will work, and according to that it will populate the bucket name, the object name, that means the file name which is uploaded in the S3 bucket, and also it will parse that content, and it will show it in the logs, the within the log group itself. Correct. So this is the thing what we are going to cover up in this particular video. Before this, we have talked about the AWS EC2, we have talked about the AWS BPC, AWS IAM role policy, AWS S3, and we have talked in the details like the path-based routing, the load balancer, then target groups, launch template, auto scaling groups, VPC peering, VPC transit gateway, your VPC endpoints, IAM roles policy, S3 static website hosting, your S3 URS concept. So we have talked all these things in detail. So you can go through all those video to understand the AWS cloud to get started with the AWS cloud. So here, without any further delay, let's directly move to the AWS console, and there we will create one S3 bucket, one lambda function, and we will do the setup to generate these flow logs, and to set this event notification from S3 to lambda function. So let's get into the S3 bucket here. So here I will be searching for the S3. Let's get into the S3 console, and we will be just creating one simple S3 bucket, and before that we will require the lambda function as well. Why the lambda function? Because based on that one only we will do the event notification settings. So before that, let me get into the create bucket. Here I will just pass a one unique name for my bucket. So I will be creating as a man demo-11 publicly accessible. I will mark my bucket as a publicly accessible. You can go with the this function as enable as well, where block all public access. For now, my use case, I'm just going with the public bucket. Then rest of the things we will keep it as default, and let's go on the creation of the bucket. So your bucket creation is in the progress, as you can see, and your bucket has been created here. What we will do in the properties section, if you see, there is an option of event notification. So if you click on the create event notification, here you will see the options what you want to use. So either you can use the Lambda function, you can use the SNS topic, SQS queue, or other things. Right now we have not created any Lambda function, that's why it's not getting populated. So what we will do, we will create one Lambda function as well here. Let me go there, and I'll be creating one Lambda function. So here we do have the option to create a function, and here I will just giving the name demo function. So this is the function name I am passing, demo function. The programming language I will be selecting as Python 3.9, and rest of the configurations will be the default. Here you have to attach the role and policy, correct? So either you can use the existing role, you will have the option to select from here, or what you can do, you can click on the create a new role with basic Lambda permission, correct? So let's go with that only, and we will do the modification according to our requirement. So let's go with that. Let's click on the create function, and your function will be created. The moment your function will be created, we will try to upload some of the code as well. And from where we will get the code, for that we will get into our public GitHub repository which I have created, correct? So I will be picking up the code and all those things from there only. So here we do have the option to change the code. As you can see here, code source, we do have the options to upload our code. So what I will do, I will get into my public GitHub repository where I have created the nodes S3 to the Lambda. So this is my particular code, this one I will be using actually. So let's do the copy, and here I'll be just pasting this particular code. Command B. What we are doing, let me scroll up. Import JSON, that is that one we are importing. Then we are importing Boto3 to connect with AWS services, correct? Then we are creating this Lambda handler. If you remember, when we were talking about the Lambda functions, we discussed that there will be one Lambda function dot Lambda handler that will be there. Where is that? So okay, this one we have talked about, correct? Handler function, Lambda function dot Lambda handler. So we define one Lambda handler in our code, and then if you want to define any other function, that you can define, and all those functions will be called in this Lambda handler, correct? So here we have defined Lambda handler, and then S3 equal to Boto3 dot client. That means this particular function will be connecting with the AWS service that is called as S3. Then it will pick up for the bucket name, and from where it will keep fetch this bucket name. For that we are passing records, and like event records, and then 0 S3, like here it has connected with the S3 service. Then we are communicating with the S3 bucket name. So it will parse all the it will parse the S3 service, like it will get into the S3 service, and it will list down all the buckets. From there we will list down the bucket object as well. For which S3 bucket? For all the S3 buckets, correct? Then we will print hello from S3, a simple custom message. Then we will print the bucket name, then we will print the object name as well. That means which file we are trying to upload. Then in the response we are storing the data s3.get object, and we will find the object, that means the file itself. Then we will print the content of that file, print response, then data, what is there in this particular response, that we will print, correct? Print data, print event, that it will print there, all those things. So let's click on the deploy. So this will save the changes, like, so when we say the deploy, that means all this code changes will be saved there. Click on the test, and here we will just click on the create new test event, and here I'll be passing as a test, correct? Then save. Once it is saved, we can click on this, and let me just mark it as a blank. Here I'll mark it as a blank. Let's click on the save and invoke, correct? Validation error, unable to save. Okay, what is the message error? In Lambda handler bucket name event records, acha, this needs to be connected with your S3 bucket itself. So now let's get into the S3 bucket here, and it will try to fetch, correct? You can see that it resulted into error because it did not get any S3 bucket and all those things, so it got failed. So what we need to do, let me get over here, and I will just refresh so that we can get this Lambda function over here. So I'm creating the event name as demo, and prefix and suffix, these are the optional, so we are not going with that. All object create events, so I just want to do this in the put event. So whenever we will upload any file, S3 object created put, So it will trigger this Lambda function, correct? Then you can apply on other sections as well, but now I'm going with that option only. Lambda function. Here you can select your demo function, correct? Let's do the save changes, and your event notification setup is done. So here you see demo put, and whenever you will upload a file, this Lambda function should be executed. So let's get into the objects. We will try to upload one file over here, and let's click on the add files. Then we will get into the S3 demo. We will apply we will upload this text demo.txt. Let's click on that, do the upload. Once we have done that upload, this Lambda function should get triggered. Let's see that. Let's get into the monitor section. Click on the view CloudWatch logs, and one log stream should be generated over here. We will see whether it has resulted into that or not. And one more thing before that, so if you see in the configuration, this role that we forgot, this role should have permission to connect with our S3 bucket, correct? Because we created this Lambda function with the basic permissions only, where it had the access of your Lambda function only. It does not have any access to the S3 bucket, correct, as you can see. So what we will have to do, we will have to attach policy here. So let me attach the S3 full access policy as well here. So let me attach this S3 full access, add permission, and let's see whether a log stream has been generated or not. Yes, one log stream was generated, but it should result into error. Hello from S3, as you can see the print message. This is the part of our code. So if I get into the code here, you will see that, correct? Let me just scroll up. You will see the custom message print hello from S3. What has happened over here, it has gone for the records. It went into the S3 service. It fetched the bucket name, it fetched the object name, then it had to parse the content, and it had to reflect all those things. So what happened over here? Let's do this. Yeah. Error correlates with the change in the runtime version. You may be able to mitigate this error by temporarily rolling back to the previous runtime version, correct? What is printed over here? Hello from S3, then bucket name, text plus demo.txt. This is the file name. I think due to the space, it has resulted into the plus sign. And then if you talk about the content, which is the part of your text demo.txt, that is not printed yet. So what we will do, let's get into the this folder, and we will try to rename it. So let me try renaming it, and I will just remove this space, text demo.txt. Now it is fine. Let's get into the AWS console here, and we will try to re-upload this file. So let's click on the close, and let me remove this. So what I will do, I will just delete this, correct? Permanently delete objects, and object has been deleted. Now we will upload one another file. It's the same file what we wanted to print, but text demo.txt. This one we will upload now. Click on the upload, and it has been uploaded. Let's get into the CloudWatch logs, and here we will see the second log stream should be generated. Let's wait for that, or it should be there after this. Yes, so now you can see there's the same log stream has the new message, correct? So if you expand it, you will see from here a start request ID. The first request ended up here, end request ID, then report request ID, and a start request ID. So the next process has started on this particular timestamp on the same 12th March of 2025. The next request ID started. Then it has printed the custom message hello from S3. Then your bucket name man demo-11. If you see, this is the bucket name man demo-11. This is the bucket name. Then you will see the message text plus demo.txt. It's coming from your what we say, this the bucket, the object name, the file name itself, correct? That is there. Then if you get into the more detail, so yeah, from here it is the request ID. Okay, so that failed multiple times. So from here it can get started. A start request ID, then hello from S3, then man demo-11, then text demo.txt. File name we changed, correct? Earlier you see it was coming as text plus demo. That was due to the space between that. So now it has started coming as text demo.txt, and then it has printed the response as well. So that was our code logic. After that bucket object, it has to print the response, then the data, then print data and the event, correct? So as you can see here, it has printed the response, then hello, this is s3 demo file. So that thing is printed over here. Then records it has printed, correct? So this is how you can create the event notification using the Lambda function and the s3 bucket. So what has happened over here, whenever you will upload a file into s3 bucket, a Lambda function will be triggered based on the some code logic what you have written. It will go through the operation. Either it can print the logs, it can do the some operations based on your logic, and the same trigger can be applied for the different kind of actions as well. As you see here, there are multiple options, correct? So we just did our things on the put object only, correct? So other than the put, you may want to keep this notification on for any kind of object removal. Whenever someone try to delete the files, on that this Lambda function will be triggered, and it may keep the backup of that file. It may do some modification, or it may just notify you. So any kind of actions, whatever you want to push, those kind of notification setup you can do. So this is the use case what we wanted to cover in this particular video, and in the next video we will be covering the other use cases as well. Auto start RDS with the help from Lambda, and auto stop RDS as well. When we say the auto start RDS and auto stop RDS, that means we are talking about operational things. So whenever there's a weekend, or whenever you are thinking of that your dev team or any other team, like other than the production, is not working in this particular time stamp. So just suppose that you are having a small company and you do have only 9 to 5 shift only, and your team is not working in the night. So you can stop all the non-production databases in the night, so that you can save the cost, correct? Ultimately you have to pay the cost, organization have to pay the cost. So for that you can use this operational process, the auto start RDS, auto stop RDS, correct? So this is what we wanted to talk, and in the next video we will be talking about these things as well. Till the time, thank you so much, and stay tuned with the channel. Let's subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you.